Pakistan has now waded into the Karnataka Hijab row. The Pakistan Foreign Minister has tweeted on this controversy. He said that minorities are persecuted in Pakistan, and yet the Imran government is preaching here. Shah Mahmood Qureshi has tweeted, and I quote, "Depriving Muslim girls of an education is a grave violation of fundamental human rights." Pakistan there now trying to preach to India on this entire hijab controversy. And you've got Shah Mahmood Qureshi tweeting, and I quote, "Depriving Muslim girls of an education is a grave violation of fundamental human rights." Geeta Mohan is joining us with more details on this. Geeta, this is hypocrisy at its very best, because Pakistan, but time and again, shows and has endless human rights violations, persecutes minorities. Here they are preaching to India. Geeta, can you hear me? We'll go across to Geeta in just a bit, but you've got here Pakistan now trying to claim some sort of moral high ground at a time when there have been so many incidents of minorities being persecuted in Pakistan, of several incidents of human rights violations. Here you have Pakistan trying to preach to India on the Karnataka hijab row, with Shah Mahmood Qureshi tweeting on this particular issue, saying, and I quote, "Depriving Muslim girls of an education is a grave violation of fundamental human rights." Shivarur is joining us with more on this. Shiv, Pakistan, as always, trying to claim the moral high ground here, not mentioning one word about the kind of human rights violations that happens in its own soil, trying instead to preach to us here in India.
Akshita, not surprising at all that Shah Mahmood Qureshi, who's usually a very discredited politician at the best of times, a person, who lost his cool and lost his tongue when he was questioned about Pakistan's stand on the Uyghurs, a man who has actually confessed to the Jaish-e-Mohammed being a Pakistan-sponsored terror organization. For him to actually tweet about the hijab controversy in a handful of Karnataka colleges is beyond ridiculous. It's beyond humor. Pakistan always looks at communally charged issues in India to try and stoke them, because they believe that these are the things that are, low investment, low cost issues that they can sort of rile up and agitate from the outside, hoping that they will create divisions here in India. What they don't know is that Indian citizens tend to be quite united, especially when, the common enemy of Pakistan tries to weigh in on issues that look to divide us here on Indian soil. So for Shah Mahmood Qureshi, a person who is derided and practically spat upon by his own people, and who's only there because he's a puppet of the Indian army, and a person who's under a huge amount of fire because of what's happening in Balochistan at this point of time, to actually find the time to tweet about a small group of students in coastal Karnataka is beyond ridiculous, as it is for anyone else from outside the country who is doing the same at this time.
Geeta Mohan is also with us. Geeta, this is the Pakistan Foreign Minister, no less, who's tweeted on this issue. And it's, at this point, the fact that there are so many issues, and so many that I can list here, of Pakistan being silent on, and yet to handpick this particular issue and try to preach to India exposes Pakistan perhaps like never before.
Well, I absolutely agree with Shiv completely, Akshita. The fact that Pakistan is no country, and Pakistan ministers are nobody to really talk about secularism or allowing space for education. They should look within their own country and the records that they hold when it comes to not allowing women space, education, empowerment, not allowing women space beyond the realm of religion. It is another debate back home, Akshita, and we've seen a lot of us ourselves criticize any such clamping down of freedom, any sort of freedom. So Shah Mahmood Qureshi should be the last person, but like Shiv said, they use every opportunity that they can to stoke problems, communalism, issues within India. And that's what Shah Mahmood Qureshi is doing, a puppet of the establishment, using this opportunity to further Pakistan's anti-India interests.
You know, we wonder what Pakistan has to say about what's happening in China to the Muslims there, what Pakistan has to say about the atrocities on minorities in POK. Silence on all of that. Geeta, Shiv, thank you for joining us on this broadcast. Now, India Today exclusively